Okay, so this is my Mac project presentation. So in the beginning, my original goal was this, and I tried to make it timely and like a smart goal, but as you can see, my feedback was, what's the process? How am I going to achieve this goal? So I made a revised goal that would encompass more of the smart goal, so specific, measurable, achievable, and realistic and timely. So adding on to that original goal, I revised it into through the Mac project, I will study and take notes and try to find the best techniques. I will also form healthy habits and routines for my life in school and out of school, and I will be more timely and prompt. I will learn time management through scheduling and planning. So, through progress, I found that these these techniques worked the best for me and really spoke to me through the class were the two TED Talks, Tim Urban's TED Talk, Inside the Mind of a Master Procrastinator, because I would also consider myself a master procrastinator. So it was good to hear that I'm not alone in being able to put things off, and I have a monkey inside my brain like everybody else. So I decided I procrastinate and I need to find a way to get myself to study, to get off my phone, to, put time aside for myself to study. And then the second TED Talk that I found really powerful was Charles Duhigg's TED Talk of the Power of Habit. I have really bad habits, mostly of sleeping in late, not turning in my work, or just doing it, pushing it to the last minute, and I knew I needed to make healthy habits. So, and another one of the techniques that I found the most helpful that I've been using, not only this semester, but last semester as well, is called the Pomodoro technique. It was developed by a college student who also found that, he can't stay focused for a certain amount of time, and he had a tomato timer that he said, I'm going to work for 25 minutes, and I'm going to have this list of tasks to do, and I'm going to do it. And after the 25 minutes, I'll take a 5-minute break, get back to it, and after I do that 4 times, I'll take a nice long break. So, the next thing I tried was the Cornell note-taking. As you can see, I used my microeconomics chapter 8 to try this note-taking technique. One thing I liked about it was that it summarized at the end of kind of, what you just learned, what notes you just took. But one thing I didn't really like was the left side. It was more, I don't know, I just found it messy. I just really didn't like it as much as regular note-taking. So from that, I found that the Cornell note-taking does not work well for me, but the Pomodoro technique works super well for me when doing homework. And what I really liked from the Cornell note-taking was taking the summary of my notes. And so I decided that after watching a lecture, I'll, scribble my notes, but afterwards I will rewrite my notes and make things like these. So if you look, it's an accounting equation sheet that I was able to study for my midterm. And from rewriting this, I was able to put everything in one place instead of having to go through all my notes and try to study separately. I had all my equations in one place. So as a result, for the accounting notes, I got an A on my accounting midterm, and I've already taken accounting and I did terrible. I got a D plus on my last midterm, and I studied really hard and nothing was working, but I found that this really works, studying this way. So I got an A. And then here's another piece of evidence. This is from my W131 classes, required English class that we have to take. This is my final essay. I set apart a lot of time to do this, and it took me a lot of time as well. I took a lot of time each day. I didn't just put it off. When it was first assigned, I gave myself about 20 minutes each day, and then that built up to about 45 to an hour each day to complete it, and I got an A on this as well. So the next piece of evidence, the Charles Duhigg's Power of Habit. I knew I needed to make habits, and I really, really needed a schedule if I wanted to be timely and prompt, and I really wanted to get things done. So here's an example of one of the schedules I've made. This really lays out, my time and where I'm spending it. So, and I even color coordinated it. And I made sure to allot myself a lot of time to rest in between homework and classes, because I know I would get burnt out if I didn't. So as you can see, Sunday was just homework and testing myself for my upcoming accounting midterm. So I have my classes in yellow, my studying in pink, and then the homework throughout the week. But I found this worked really well, especially because I printed it out and hung it up right above my desk, and I was able to go every 30-minute increments and really push myself to follow it. Another thing I started during this quarantine was running, especially after hearing the power of habits of like putting tennis shoes next to my bed. I've been running almost every day, and this is just a program called Couch to 2K. But I found that this habit forming is very helpful to have a sensor or something that will remind you that, oh, hey, I need to do this. And that's kind of what the schedule was like for me to, motivate me to do my work. So in review, did I accomplish the goal? I would say yes and no. I learned a lot, but at the same time, I wish that I was still back at school, because being home has caused a lot of trouble for me. Being very distracted, being home is not good for me. So I think that I definitely could have done better, but I also learned so much in the process. From this, I will be, making schedules for myself weekly. I will be continuing to use the Pomodoro technique, and I will continue to implement these habit changing things to my life in order to get better. And will I continue with the school in the future? Definitely. I think I will be setting a goal for myself to pass every class, because I'm tired of having to retake classes, and I want to pass every single class, and I know what it takes. It's just having the motivation to do that. And then what went well, I think all of this would have done even better if I was at school, where I could go to the library every day after class and have that habit form of, I would walk by a library, go into the library and do homework for an hour, and that kind of habit. So that's the one thing that I would change. But other than that, I think that it went very, very well.